Our Seaside Band. Sounding good, always. I'm always impressed by musicians that wake up on Sunday morning. I think that's a good thing, huh? There we go. I want to invite everybody from our family room, from our social hall to come on in. Getting ready to start here. I'm Reverend Debbie McDonald. It's my joy to be with you this morning. I have a few announcements before we begin service today. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce the practitioner who's holding the light for us today. Practitioner Patty Christensen. So each service we have a practitioner that holds a high watch for us or holds the light. And that's representative of holding that space of consciousness for us. So our practitioner sits in the back of the sanctuary, anchored in prayer throughout the service, that conduit for the divine to move through so beautifully. She sits in front of, or he or she sits in front of our prayer request chest. And please know there's several different ways that you can receive prayer here at Seaside. We never want you to go or leave here with anything on your heart. Please stay and receive a live prayer after service. Our practitioners are in the prayer chapel just out the side doors, or you can write a written prayer request, put it in the prayer request chest out on the side or in the back of the sanctuary. Those prayers are distributed to our entire ecclesiastical team, and they're prayed over for a few weeks. So be sure to do that. Or you can put a prayer right on the website. Put a prayer right in our prayer request chest on the website. Know that's available to you. So we have a few things going on. First of all, I want to point out, if you haven't noticed in our program, we have a brand new insert that I'm calling Month at a Glance. We haven't really come up with a name for it yet, and it replaces what was our Inside Seaside. We had Inside Seaside for, I know, at least 5 years. It dates back to when Trudy was our board president. And it was how many years, Marv? 7 years. And Marv, who does our AV on Sunday, was the creator of the Inside Seaside each week. It was a labor of love. He certainly didn't get paid the equivalent of the hours that it took to do it. So can you just give Marv a big round of applause for all the work he did for those 7 years? Thank you, Marv. It's sort of a seaside institution that is shifting and shifting and changing isn't always the easiest thing for all of us. But we are a work in progress on this new one, and so it does have your February at a glance and some upcoming events. And I want to point out a couple things that are today. Today, after service, we have our James Von Prague volunteer meeting. It's the last meeting before the big event on Thursday, so that's happening. So if you're a volunteer, you want to be there after service, it's in the Quimby room. And also Basic Beliefs is today. So the first Sunday of every month, we offer an absolutely complimentary Basic Beliefs class. It's taught by one of our longtime practitioners, Jenny Mills, and it's just going over what the basics of science of mind are. So if you're new to science of mind, or you are been around a long time, but you have some questions about what do we believe, or what's up, then go ahead and stop into that. But please try to be there by the beginning of class, because sometimes we have lots of people and sometimes we don't have anybody, and the teacher leaves at a certain time. So get your coffee and head on over there. That's in the Emerson room. On Wednesday night, Dr. Christian is doing a midweek healing ritual. It's changed up from our normal Wednesday night service, or what you would have come to in the past, and it's very popular and it's growing. It's a wonderful opportunity to be in a more intimate setting with Dr. Christian. It's a dialogue, kind of an open dialogue between the members of the audience and Dr. Christian, and it's a healing time and it's a prayer time. So I invite you to come on out on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock and share that healing ritual. Also, I want to invite you to stop at some of our tables in the family room. Our social hall, or our family room, is where you get all the information on Sunday and where everybody shows up that has something going on, and we have a couple things. First of all, I want to invite you to see Mark Sands at the Make-A-Wish table. They are going to be hiking the Pacific Coast Trail, a group of individuals, and you can sign up to hike with, and all of them, they're doing it to raise money for Make-A-Wish. So go ahead and see that table afterwards. Also, it is time for our interfaith shelter. It's a rotational shelter that I just learned at first service that goes now all the way into spring. When I was here before, it was just for the holidays. And now I understand it's extended all the way through spring. So those people that are temporarily homeless, those people that don't have a place to go, that are displaced, are given shelter and tools to help them to get back on their feet. And all of our different congregations in the area take turns each week hosting it. And so our turn to host is coming up in March. Karen Copeland, who's the back of the family room right now, she will be out in the social hall following service. If you want to sign up to volunteer, if you'd like to just donate to the effort, there's lots of ways that you can give. So see Karen about the interfaith table. Education is a big thing here at Seaside. Education is one of the big parts of religious science. Our classes most of them have already started for the winter quarter, but we do have some workshops and some one-day things. I understand, Callie, your class is full, sold out. So the Heart to Lead is sold out. We told you last week, I think, if you wanted in, you needed to sign up, but there are still some opportunities for some classes. We have a workshop that's going to be next Sunday, and she was here. There you are. Go ahead and see our teacher. It's Karen, right? After service, she'll be at the education table. It's intuitive self-awareness. It's a one-day workshop next Sunday, so you can sign up for that. Last but not least, the big event, the big thing is almost here. Thursday night, James Von Prague and Gordon Smith here in our sanctuary. The VIPs are sold out. You might be able to get Kay to sell you one. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. I think it's pretty much sold out, but there are still general admission tickets available. They're $50 today, but they're $60 at the door. So if you're thinking of going, today's a good day to buy your ticket. You can see Kay in the family room. And Marv has a short clip for us. This is James Von Prague and Gordon Smith.
Yeah, come out to California, everybody. We're right here. We're going to be an evening together in the world. Yeah, they can have your books, Gordon. Your books will be there. My books will be there as well. So
fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. But more than anything, just to be in that power and the energy again in California, which to me is one of my favorite places ever. I feel at home there. I actually do feel so at home in California.
Have you ever been to the Seaside Center in Encinitas?
I haven't. No. I've never been there. So
it's very powerful. You know, Yogananda's place, spiritual, it's the self-realization center down the street from there. But this area, they said, was built on quartz crystal. Both coasts of the mountains here are all crystal. And when you walk into that spiritual center, it's just this energy which comes up, but it's a very pure energy. And I've worked about 4 or 5 times. It's my favorite place to work in California. It's very, very powerful. So it's a wonderful community. I think you're really going to love it there.
I know I'm going to love it. The last time I was in California.
There you go. So come out and see those 2 gentlemen on Thursday evening and experience the energy that we are. And at this time, what I'd like to ask you to do is you please stand and greet your neighbor, and please remain standing for our congregational song.
Seaside, please remain standing for our congregational song. We've done this one before. It's a Jamie Lula tune. In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflowing us, decorate this place as it is below. So it is above. May we always stand in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. Yeah. I hear you, Seaside. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best till we all are free. Living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. Next part goes. In the name of love, in the name of love. Sing that again. In the name of love, in the name of love. Come on, Bob, and our very own Seaside Band. Give it up for Bob and our very own Seaside Band. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. Let's sing it again. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song all as one, in the name of love. Take it home, fellas. Yeah, Seaside.
Hey!
Very nice.
It is nice. All right. Hey, did you do that TV show this week?
Yeah, we did the taping for it was the Grammys were on Sunday, but what people don't realize is that on Tuesday, 2 days later, we actually taped a Grammy tribute to Prince.
Nice.
And that's going to air on the 4th anniversary of his passing, which is April 21st.
Ooh, on the network.
Yeah, on the
Big
network.
TV.
I don't know which network it is yet, but it's on
You'll let us
TV
know, right?
somewhere. I will.
All you need to do now is Academy Awards.
Actually, I am.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, actually, I got asked to sing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I do the same thing actually through part of the Sheila team, Lynn Mabry. She actually sang on the soundtrack for Rocket Man when it came out, and they were going to feature the same artists, the same singers that sang on the soundtrack. One gal couldn't do it. Lynn said, hey, I know somebody who recommended me to do it.
All
so
right.
I'm singing with the Oscars.
Woo! Like with Elton John,
I
you.
don't think so. I don't want to say yes because I think so.
Yeah, we got all your people at home watching.
That's right, that's right.
Congratulations. We're just so excited.
Tune in.
All right, we will. Next Sunday, is it?
Next Sunday, 5
Oh, my
to 8
God.
o'clock.
Oh, good. All right, Helma.
Thank you.
Wow. Rebecca, Academy Awards.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Seaside. What an exciting place to be. There is just so much life, excitement, and activities going on. Truly a super Sunday, without a doubt. And so wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know that you're welcome here. Seaside, a thriving spiritual community, inspiring us to live our divinity. How we doing? Woo, all right. I'm glad to hear that. And so, exciting day. It's a palindrome kind of day. Do you know that? And that means what? Same ways forward, backwards. So the month is 02. The date is 02/2020. Same way back. First time in 909 years since that has happened. So, and you thought it was all about Groundhog's Day. No, that's a palindrome kind of day, that's for sure. So it's if you got your phone, take it out, share what's going on here with the world, with your friends, check in. Let them watch us on Facebook. You can go right to it and say, hey, watch Seaside Live. We got Rebecca Jade singing. She is voted Best Singer of San Diego this last year. Oh, yeah. Do they have the, what's...
So the San Diego Music Awards are back again, and it's time to vote. And I've been nominated for 2 awards again, and this one is for Best Live Band and Artist of the Year.
Nice. Woo.
So you can vote, SanDiegoMusicAwards.com.
And how long do we have?
I believe until March.
Okay, so we got a month. So maybe
you can
March.
vote every day. So you can...
Every day. Yes. I love that election time. Vote and vote often. There's hope if we take that strategy. No, I take that back. It's all in God's hands. Anyway, I'm just having so much fun, and we got to get rolling here. And so we have a wonder. Here, I'm just excited about Seaside. We have a practitioner here who... she worked at the World Ministry of Prayer for more than 20 years, which means she prayed every day, at least 5 days a week, from 8 in the morning till 5 in the evening. And here at the age of 89, this week, she was carrying her newspaper. She just incorporated a new business called Good Morning Connection, where seniors can call and check in and let people know, hey, I'm still here. And at 89, just started a new business. Katie Boggio.
Wow. Life is marvelous. Life is good. It is that love of God that is always expressing. Just allow yourself to connect to that vibration of that magnificent bowl made of that magnificent metal called, or stone, I guess it would be called, the brain cells of Mother Earth, crystal. As this is indeed where all life is, it is the life of God that is expressing itself not only in that bowl, but in each one of us individually and collectively. We have come together this morning to celebrate the magnificence of life, to celebrate the magnificence of love, that energy that heals all things everywhere, that love that is right now expressing itself through me and as I know it to be so for each individual that hears my voice, whether it is at this moment or whether it is the rest of the day, because I have a very loud voice that speaks love. And I know that this is indeed what is taking place. I know for Dr. Christian that he too has surrendered to that love, allowing that love to move him forward, doing what he loves to do. And as we witness what he's loving to do, and he does it, we are given permission to be the same. I know this to be so, and I'm ever, ever, ever knowing it is already done in the mind of God. Therefore, it is done in my life as I know it to be in all life.
Breathe in, let the power of love fulfill you. Breathe out, let the troubles of life be gone. Release all the worries you have for tomorrow. Look within, let's begin as one. Breathe in, let the power of love fulfill you. Breathe out, let the troubles of life be gone. Release all the worries you have for tomorrow. Look within, let's begin as one.
Thank you, Rebecca. We are so blessed by your voice and Spirit singing through you. It's just beautiful. Thank you. And thank you, Kate, for your prayer, for anchoring us so beautifully. Our first year practitioners in training have the privilege of having Kate and Deb Sadler as their teachers and learning that powerful prayer. So beautiful. Well, I am Reverend Debbie, and it's my honor to be with you this morning. I'm so grateful to be here. It's so fun to be back at Seaside and see all the smiling faces. I want to welcome any of you that are here for the first time. I want to welcome all of you, but I especially want to welcome anybody who's here for the first time at Seaside. Please know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. We honor all paths to God. And if it is your first time, we have a welcome packet for you. You can pick it up at the table, the welcome table, through the glass doors out in the social hall. And in it, it has a CD and some coupons and a little bit about who we are. And read it and check it out and see if we might be a good match for you and what it is that you're looking for. Especially, please stay afterwards and let us get to know you better. Have some coffee or tea with us and let us get to know you and get to know us a little bit. So we look forward to that. Today, Dr. Christian is talking about do what you love. Do what you love as we're moving to February, the month of love, and we start with this. And today I'm going to be reading to you from Finding Your Own North Star, Claiming the Life You Were Meant to Live by Martha Beck. And she says, though each person's life path is different, I believe that the human journey, right large, has some universal aspects. All cultures in every geographic region and historical period have idealized the qualities of truth, love, and joy. I've never had a client who wasn't in search of these things, who didn't feel that a blend of these components in both our real home and the best version of our inner nature. When Dante went off looking for a situation where he could experience the ultimate realization of these qualities, he called the goal paradise. You can call it heaven, nirvana, the garden of Allah, enlightenment, a condition resulting from high levels of serotonin in the brain, or Disneyland. I don't really care, so long as we have some shorthand label for the ultimate manifestation of our potential for good and happiness. I think of this condition as the North Star. According to my dictionary, the North Star, known to its friends as Stella Polaris, is situated close to the North Pole of the heaven. Because of its location, the North Star doesn't appear to move around in the sky as the other stars do. It is a fixed point that can always be used to figure out which way you're headed. Explorers and mariners can depend on Polaris when there are no other landmarks in sight. The same relationship exists between you and your right life, the ultimate realization of your potential for happiness. I believe that a knowledge of that perfect life sits inside you, just as the North Star sits in its unalterable spot. You may think you're utterly lost, that you're going to die a bewildered death in the dark wood of error, but brush away the leaves, wait for the clouds to clear, and you'll see your North Star shining as brightly as ever. The fixed point in the constantly changing constellation of your life, your North Star. So it is.
Ooh, that's a good way to start the morning. Woo! Good. Well, good morning, Seaside. It is my honor to introduce our guest artist usually, and you hear me say this every once in a while, but I'm very fortunate when Reverend Christian says, "Hey, sometimes book yourself." So I'm going to be your guest artist this morning. And in keeping in mind what the message is today, I just thought of this great song. It's by a singer named Corinne Bailey Ray, and it's just this beautiful message about just, just enjoying life, And so it's called Put Your Records On. Yeah. And I can take pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. How you gonna realize you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans. I hope you reach your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself. Oh yeah. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans. Go ahead, reach your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Come on, Bob. Come on, Bob. Come on, Max. Go ahead. Come on, Max. Yeah, yeah. Give it up for Bob and Max and our very own Seaside band. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans. Go ahead and reach your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. Yeah. Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down. Sapphire and faded jeans. Go ahead and reach your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. Thank you. Give it up for our Seaside band.
And that is Rebecca Jade, San Diego's best singer, and right here at Seaside. You are welcome. Thank you.
That's my Seaside family.
Yeah, that's such a feel-good song, except for the part about let your hair down. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Okay, yeah. That's it. All right. So here we go in the month of love. It's about feeling good and do what you love. I mean, that is the key. If you want to be enjoying life, pretty simple. Do what you love. I could leave you with that one. I mean, if you contemplate that, do what you love. Life tends to get pretty good at that point. So I thought I would pick up today where I left off last week when Ernest Holmes was telling us that Spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. Remember that? Yeah, a few of you. Okay, well, this is where we're picking up. In other words, Spirit can't guide you if you're not open and available. If you are unwilling, Spirit can't have its way with you. It just doesn't work that way. Spirit cannot guide a car if it's parked, right? So you've got to be in that place where you're able to be in emotion with God and Spirit and like co-create with the divine. And a classic story, all ministers have used it. Brian's probably used it a lot. But the one where the salesman's going through to the countryside, and he saw this gorgeous farm, and he saw the farmer up on his porch just rocking, chewing on a piece of hay, and he just had to stop and say, my, that is one of the most spectacular farms that I've ever seen. God has done such a great job with that. To which the farmer kind of snouted out and said, oh, yeah, you should have seen the mess when he had it all by himself, It's like, Spirit has got to move through you, so you got to do what it is you love. You've heard me oftentimes say that, if you don't like math, if you despise math, Spirit's not going to make you an accountant. That's not the way it works. And if you don't like hanging around people, it's not going to make you a concierge, because that's not how it works. You got to do what you love, and what happens is you begin to be guided and directed into a greater possibility. But here's the catch. Sometimes, like a lot of times, I talk with people, and they've kind of lost their identity. They've lost their attachment to who they really are. They forget what it is they love to do because they embraced what someone else wanted them to do. Maybe it started off with the parents wanting you to be a certain way, or maybe you're in a relationship, and all of a sudden, you're a parent being someone that, you really weren't you like being, but it didn't quite work. Or really what it is individuals who are trying to please people in the public eye, entertainers, health care providers, ministers, people who are looking to help make other people feel good and get that kind of feedback. They all of a sudden begin to sell themselves out for their and all of a sudden over time they forget their identity. They've sold their identity because they're trying to appease someone or something. And so what I am here to remind us is, if you have forgotten that, something that gets you going, that gets you excited, that you've got to do what it is you love. And if you forget what it is you love, then just stop. Don't hesitate, because I want you to recognize it's still within you. It's just been covered by trying to win the approval, or win the paycheck, or win the right, or whatever it is to get your clients through whatever's going on. And you just stop and you allow yourself to get a little bit more in touch and to bring it forth the best you can in your life right here. The Course in Miracles says, delay really doesn't affect eternity, but time, it's very tragic. You don't want to hold back that which you are. Richard was a gentleman who was going through the dynamics of trying to remember who he is. And what he came in touch with is that he did what his parents wanted him to do in terms of the profession. He had wanted to be an architect doing Victorian-style houses. And his dad was a contractor, so he went into the family business and took over the contracting business. He married a woman he was fond of, but not really one where he poured a lot of love into. They had a family. They lived in a very nice neighborhood, a house in which she found, because she felt it would be good for his business to live in that kind of neighborhood. They looked like the happy couple. What he really wanted was to build a Victorian house in the country, and yet, no one knew that they were, not passionately in love. They would hold hands. But what happened is, when the kids left the house, they looked at each other and they realized they hadn't been talking much other than about the kids. That he had been doing everything that she had wanted him to do and was okay, but was not living his passion. And so in that moment, particularly when he realized on his altar, he had built a gilded cage, a bird cage, and in the cage he had a Barbie and Ken doll climbing a ladder to nowhere. Pretty good indication that something's not working there. And it was in that moment and in that conversation that he decided, you know what? I'm going to work and commit to building and drawing and creating that Victorian farmhouse that I had always envisioned out in the country. And what I'm going to do is refuse to live in a mediocre relationship or marriage, that I'm going to pour all my love that I'm capable of doing into this. And I'm going to do what I love, and I'm going to give it my all in that moment. And and that's what we got to do, is figure out, hey, this is where I'm stuck. And when we wake up, we realize, you know what, it's not working right here anymore. Because if you're not using your mind, who is? No, who is doing that programming there? You are the one who's got to take charge, because selling your soul out into somewhere is a real poor bargain, I think. To sell your soul and your spirit to have a warm body next to you, you're coming out on the short end of that deal. You remember this classic line that Meryl Streep said in Out of Africa? She said, how'd it go? It said, I realized that I didn't want to get to the end of my life and realize I was living somebody else's dream. I mean, is that a shocker? I don't want to get to the end of my life and realize that I have been living somebody else's dream. So I'm here today to encourage you to do what it is you love, to live your dream. And what will happen is you will attract into your life, at this point in your life, in your world, the relationships that match what it is you love to do. And if you have lost your identity and you're being something you are not really, then all you're going to do is attract those individuals to partner with that which you aren't really. And so if you want to find out what it is that you really love to do, so you can be that and express that, here's a piece. If it's class, we do it in class, but it's not a class, so it's a home assignment for you. But I want you to go and make a list of all the things and the activities that you do. I don't know, 25 of them or something. It's whether it's your work, your career, your relationship, driving the kids to school, whatever that is that you do, and put a number of 1 to 10 next to it. 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. And then take a look at that list of your activities and see which ones are like 1 to 3, and try to do less of that, right? And take a look at those that are like 7 to 10 and try to do more of that. Right? It's not that tough. It's a very simple assignment. If you want to do what it is you love, you're going to continue to be happy. Do what it is you love. It's the name of this morning's message, and I'm just here to give you that simple thing. Do what it is you love. And don't hesitate. Don't put it off any longer. Get to that place and begin to feel it and sense it. And as you begin to do that, things can stir. Things may shake. And they may be moving in a direction you're not quite sure that's the direction you want, but you're listening to within. Albert Einstein said there are very few in number that actually listen to their own mind and feel from their own heart. I'm encouraging you to create that space. We call it meditation, where you just sit. You just sit and you be, and you open yourself up. And it may feel like it's empty in there. But that's when you are receptive. And in that emptiness, you feel the fullness. In that emptiness, you feel the infinite realm of possibilities. In that space, you begin to recognize that what's going on in my world is actually supporting me to get in touch with what it is I love. But what am I doing with my attitude about it? There's a Zen saying that says, now that my house is burned down, I have a better view of the sky. Yeah. What are you doing with what is moving in your world? Because you're like that fulcrum, or that funnel, or that vortex, that conduit through which that infinite that's trying to pour into that open, empty space of yours. And sometimes things shake and rattle, and you may not really be sure. And it's like you're unsure if things are falling apart or opening up. You know what I mean? You're uncertain if you're losing everything or if you're gaining everything. Well, all of a sudden, that's a real good place. I get to decide about my house that just burned down. I get to decide about this information that just came up in my realization. And am I going to really commit to doing what it is I love? Then what is shaking and stirring, it could be called a mistake, but you know what? That is part of the road to your greater expression. I heard it said, no mistakes is the big mistake. You got that? No mistakes. If you're not making any mistakes, you're not on the edge, you're not growing, you're not evolving, you're not moving to a new level. No mistakes is the big mistake that goes on in our life. And so what happens is life reflects it back to us. You know, your world reflects back to you. You know, we call it cause and effect. What goes around comes around, karma. You know, you could call it a mistake, or you call it karma, or you can call it information. Wayne Dyer used to say, how people treat you, that's their karma. And how you respond or how you react, that's yours. You know, so what am I going to do with what is going on in my life? Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great American essayist, said, the sower mistakes when they sow the seeds crookedly. But the peas make no mistakes when they reveal the line the sower made. You know, it's like, may make a mistake, but the peas aren't making a mistake showing you it's crooked here. There's something crooked going on. That's what life is doing. It's giving you feedback. And if you think you're sitting in a gilded cage walking up a ladder to nowhere, maybe it's time to sit and create some silence and listen. Okay, what is it I love to do if I'm not happy with where I'm going, or I'm direction, or I'm exhausted, or I've lost my identity? I'm taking a look at this list. These things, man, 1 to 3, gotta go. These 7 to 10, what can I do more of this? The money will follow, the support will follow, the people will follow, the relationships will follow. Because that's how it works. That is the law of reflection. That is the mirroring. That is cause and effect. That is allowing that spirit to have its way in our life. And when something looks like a mistake, it's not as if it's a mistake. The peas knew what they were doing. It was just revealing. There's something out of balance here, Christian. You need to take a look at this and see, what am I going to do with it now? What am I going to do with it? It's not working. So what is it I want to do? And I've lost touch with what really makes me happy. You know, I had the value of pleasing other people, but when you're pleasing other people, you've left the most important part out of the equation, you. Yeah. What sings to your heart and your soul? I'm not talking just about like a passing fancy, you know, like, you know what I mean, like that. Like, you ever had kids, you know what their fancy, like, they got to have this. They're going to die if they don't get this. Come on, Dad. After a week, I finally give in to Trevor. Okay, I will get that transformer. I get it. You'll die if you don't get it. You know, so I buy him this little piece of adjustable plastic. I don't get it. He loves it, and within a few days, it's nowhere to be found. Eventually, it's found in the bottom of the basket of his broken plastic toys. He could care less. You know, that's what I'm talking about. We don't use all this juice on these passing fancies. What we do is to find out, what is it that I really want to do? You know, what is it that is moving and grooving in my soul? That, you know, do what I love, but what is it I love? I have lost touch with building that Victorian architectural farmhouse out of the country because I've been so caught up in pleasing other people. Any people pleasers? No hands. Both mine are up. Here's a great test for you how to find it. And these five ways in which you kind of run this test against, you know, this goal or this vision or this intention that you have. I take from Mary Mann Morrissey, wonderful prosperity teacher, terrific minister in the New Thought movement. And the first one is when you got this vision or this intention, you know, this big thing. You know, I've been losing my identity. I am not going to hesitate any longer. I got this idea. This is going to get my going. First one is this that you pick, does it enliven you? You know, does it turn you on? Is this my jam? Is what's going to get me out of bed in the morning? Am I going to wake up, eyes pop open, jump out excited to go do that TV show or you know, be on the stage with Elton John or whatever it is you're doing like that? You know, what is it that just enlivens and makes your cells just vibrate at the new level? That's the first test. That's not a passing fancy. If I could just get this toy. We don't want any boy toys or false relationships. What we want is the real deal here. Does this really enliven me? And then the next one, she says, does it align with my values? Which is an interesting question. You know, is this really, you know, true for me? Because people ask us a lot of times, you know, take this idea. You know, this is really important. You know, I go, does this match you? You know, there was this TV show, actually it was a kids show before my time even. It was called Leave It to Beaver. There's this kid on there by the name of Beaver. What, could you imagine having to live with that name? Hey, Beaver. But anyway, you know, he came home from school with his report card and had a D on it. You know what to do. So he just left it on his dad's desk because he needed to get it signed for school for the next day. And so his brothers, Wally and Eddie Haskell, they were going through and they saw his his report card. And they thought, man, what can we do to help this kid? He's in trouble. And so Wally left the room. So Eddie, what he did is he took a pen and very carefully and meticulously changed the D into a B. No problem. Dad came home. He signed the report card. Beaver took it into school, gave it to his teacher. When Beaver came home that afternoon, Dad said, Beaver, we got to have a talk here. He said, your teacher called me and said that your report card's been changed from a D to a B. He said, I didn't do it. I said, Beaver, that D was very carefully and precisely changed from a D to a B. Dad, I didn't do it. Son, it's one thing to change a D to a B. It's another to lie. Are you going to stick with that story? He thought about it and said, gee, Dad, yeah. When you only have one story, you got to stick to it. And it's like, what a great message. When you've only got that one aspect of who you are, that true identity, that which makes you happy, you've got to stick to it, not sell out because somebody is pressuring you to sell out. See, your story is that you are a child of God, made in the image and likeness, that you are an expression of the divine. You are magnificent. Your history heretofore has been your journey, but you know what? This is still the place where the magnificence of God is expressing, and it may have been good so far. The farm looks great, but you know what? It's a coordination between you and the divine that makes it look magnificent and wonderful and fulfills the potential and the possibility. So you're the one who decides, this is in alignment with my values. You know, the first thing, yeah, it turns me on, it enlivens me. The second is, yes, it is in alignment with my value. This is what I want to do. This is what I love to do. Oh, whoa, child, everything's going to be all right. Hang in there. Whoa, child, it's going to be all right. I'm with you. I haven't abandoned you. And so her next one, her third one is, does it require this dream or this what you want to do? Does it require that you need to reach out to a higher power? Is it something you think you got handled? Leave it alone, God. No problem. Or is it something that you think, this is such a magnificent dream or vision, intention, that I need some divine intervention? I need something greater than me to make this happen. Because if it's not, then it's too small for you. You want to have a vision or a possibility that says, I need something greater than me to make this dream come true. We sit in this building. There is no possible way that our individual minds could have figured it out. But 20 years ago, we made a decision that we were going for it. And somehow we ended up in here. And someday we'll get it paid off. But in the last 2 decades, we have had a place to call home that is second to none throughout our movement. That their spirit goes on, love goes on, healing goes on, transformation goes on. We have watched our children grow up here and not only baptized them, but married them. That is what has taken place because we had a vision that is greater than the individual that said, I need some divine intervention here. And that's the third one. But the fourth one is then it requires you to stretch. I assure you, it stretched me going out and asking for help and holding vision and articulating. You want to have a vision that not only requires something higher than you know, but it also requires that you stretch and you grow so your dream can come true. And the fifth one, and the fifth step to picking that, which is just so right and enlivens your cellular level and excites your spirit, is that, and eventually it blesses others. That your joy, your dharma, your happiness, your gift, your well-being, what it is you do, it's like the wake that just, it lands on others and it blesses them and enriches them and just allows. But it takes commitment. It's just not a casual kind of thing, right? The old story of the breakfast of ham and eggs, for the hen. It's it's a casual relationship. For the pig, it's a commitment. It's the hen, it's just involvement. The pig's all in here. It's like there's a difference of just involvement with your goal or your dream or your vision. Anybody raise kids? Don't need to raise your hands, but I just, you know what it's like to have that little baby wake up at 2 a.m. It's like, as much as you want to say, deal with it, you'll get up and change those poopy diapers, or you'll get up and feed that child. Because that's your commitment. That's what you do. There's no reservations. You get up and do that. Have you ever had an animal or a dog get out in the middle of the night and the neighbors say, hey, your dog's running through the neighborhood? You get up in your pajamas and you go outside and grab your dog and bring him back in. It's like, that's commitment. It's not what you want to do, but you know what? I got to do that. I've got to do that. And so if we keep on doing what it is we don't want to do, we're not going to be available to do what it is we want to do. And so that's why I'm saying, stop hesitating, open up, and begin to become receptive. Become available to that which is ours to do now. You've been on a path, you've been on a journey, you've had your identities, whether they were your chosen or others' chosen. This is where you are now. You get to decide, what is it that I love to do? The ways and the means to support me to doing that is always available. We are dealing with an infinite universe. The Spirit is there, and life may give us some bumps or mistakes. And James Allen said, circumstances do not make a person, but they reveal them. What do you do? Okay, somehow this is going. Is it falling apart or opening up? I get to decide what's going on here and what is best, the highest and best. And so as I begin to do more of what it is I love to do, I have more opportunities to do that which I love to do and more support for doing what it is I love to do, attracting the people who support you for doing what it is you love to do. And the blessing that you bring to the world, to those people that are supporting you, is a joy, is a vibrancy, is a countenance, is an aliveness. And so you've got to be true or integrity to that which you want to do. It's going to be all right, child. It's going to be okay. It will. If you're doing the tango, should I do it? No, I'm just kidding. And somebody who's doing the foxtrot wants you to dance, you guys aren't doing the same dance. Now, there's nothing wrong with the foxtrot or the tango. They're just two different dances. And in the ballroom, you probably got somebody doing the samba and the salsa, and all those are part of the fuller picture, and they're all wonderful. But if you're dancing the tango and they're dancing the foxtrot, it's not a match, and it's not judgment. It's just not a match. And are you going to sell yourself out to do the foxtrot just so you can be next to a warm body? Some people would. But you're not that desperate, because I know your truth is that you are that child of God, that you're a divine vortex and conduit through which that infinite pours forth blessings, and that you're finding more time to sit there in the silence and be receptive to that which just activates your whole being, just get your whole resonance just excited for that which is yours to do. And the ways and the means open up. This is the way it works. It's cause and effect. It is the law of allowing. It is the divine unfoldment. It is Spirit in action as your life. And I got to tell you, all of us are just excited and waiting for that to come forth from you. God bless us as we do that together. Amen. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring Rebecca Jade back to our stage.
God, we're so lucky to be spoken to by you and fed and
All right.
man. So blessed. I'm so blessed to be part of Seaside family. I picked this song to again match the message this morning, and it's just God. It's one of my favorite artists. A lot of folks covered this song. Was originally done by the great Billie Holiday, who was somebody I listened to a lot growing up. I'm a jazz head. And this song is just, I hope, resonates with all of you to match up with the message this morning. It's called God Bless the Child. Then this God shall get, then this not shall lose. So the Bible says, and it still is news. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless a child that's got his own. That's got his own. Well, the strong get more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make the grade. No, Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless a child that's got his own, that's got his own. Ooh, money, you've got lots of friends crowding round the door. But when you're gone and the spending ends, they don't come round no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You can help yourself, but don't take too much. No, Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless a child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yeah. Give it up, y'all. That's Bob and our very own Seaside band. Money, you got lots of friends crowding round the door. But when you're gone and the spending ends, they
This is Rebecca Jade. How cool is that? Oh, ooh, you too. All right. This is time of our service where we have the opportunity to share our gift, to share our love, and know that together we have created this magnificent place and look good when God had it on its own. But you know what? All of us together have really brought into expression something magnificent. And so as we support Spirit's work that is showing up in our life, what we find is our life becomes Spirit's work. And so I invite you to listen to your heart and to give from that place. And as you give, it comes back. It's not why you do it, but that is that law of reflection, that law of mirroring, cause and effect, circulation, call it what you will. But life reflects back whether it's a crooked row or a straight row. It's just, that's how it is. So I invite you to listen to your heart and to give from that place and support Spirit from that place. And you'll just find such a blessing that comes. And with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward, say thank you to this wonderful crew. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you cannot be here on a Sunday. It's greatly appreciated, as well as those that are involved with the auto tie, that regular support. You said in the pledge program or any time, hey, you can count me in once a month, once a year, whatever that is. And that's what these are. And you guys at home, thank you. Just thank you for your support. I know you're chatting up as we're talking here on Sundays, but there is a whole community of you that I hear from, and just keep sending your prayer requests, and thank you for your support. Who you are is making a difference. So we love you, and we know you're there. And so with that, I offer this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, absolutely knowing that this is a divine moment where the wonderful expression begins to fill this field of awareness. That I've been able to clear my mind, that empty space, at least for that moment, and open up to that wonderful light and that reverberation of that affluent flow, that divine download of greater good that shows up in the body, in the world of affairs, and the finances, in every aspect, because God is infinite. And so it begins to take form in the places that could use some extra enlivening and strengthening, for truly the blessings of the graces upon each and every one of us, for we're in partnership with Spirit. God first always, and it's in this kind of recognition and activity that there is a full expression in our life. Always God showing up. So grateful to live with this sense of trust and peace and security and well-being, knowing that I'm dealing with that which is inexhaustible, multidimensional, everywhere, omnipresent. That good is the experience now. So I say thank you, and it's with this sense of gratitude and appreciation that I let it go, because that which is always is, and that is the affluent flow of life, and so it is. Amen. And with that, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent flow of greater good as my life now. your guys from Seaside. Nice job. And so I stand before this bounty and I can feel the outpouring, the love and the caring, the compassion and the consideration and the heart and the soul. And there's just a wonderful vibrational gift that comes with this. And I just know that Seaside accepts it with love and it handles it with good stewardship and it honors that wonderful vibration that is. For I know right now that this love that has been shared just brings a sense of deep peace and realization and manifestation of that abundance that continues to grow, allowing this community to do greater work and touch more lives and make a difference in more individuals than we could ever begin to imagine. For the few decades is just the beginning of this great foundation of this spiritual community known as the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living that all of us are an integral part of. So I say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for the ability to allow that love to move through us at the level in which we can. And I know that in this, the wonderful gifts and miracles of God happen for all this family. And so it is. Amen. Yeah. Hey, this is Mark. And I used to say that he was your treasurer, but last Sunday we had the annual meeting, and Mark was elected to be your new president of the Seaside Board of Trustees, the chair. I'll put this right here for now. I'll tell you what. And, with that, Mark, you can take the cash in a moment and get that counted appropriately. But, you've got a whole new board of trustees, and I thought it'd be good for you to introduce them to their community, since this is who they represent.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me just say I'm really pleased to be able to support Reverend Christian, Reverend Debbie, the staff, and all the many volunteers here to make this community what works for you, make this your spiritual home. And we want to make sure you come talk to us and let us know your ideas and what we can do to make this home for you, make this work for you and your spiritual needs. So I'd like to call the other board members up, please, to join me.
Hey.
So this is Susan Sullivan, board trustee, volunteer extraordinaire. This is Rena Riley, board trustee. This is Kathleen White, board secretary. This is Josh Franklin, board vice president. This is John Politano, board treasurer. So this is your 2020 Board of Trustees for Seaside Center for Spiritual Living.
Hey, woo! Nice job, huh? Woo! We are in good hands, that's for sure. Mark was an attorney for Qualcomm for 20 years, so we're in good hands there, that's for sure. Thank you. Keep an eye on us. And thank you for your singing today. You're our guest artist, musical director, and I guess we can give you next Sunday off since you're going to be walking the red carpet and those kind of things. How cool that is. But Marv, hey, let's next week get one of those how they can vote for Rebecca Best Artist in San Diego for the year and get her voted in for another year. She's got a big family behind her, and we love you. So. And Rev Deb, it's so great to have you back. You're playing with us, and it is truly exciting. And those that were not here at the annual meeting, want everybody to know that Reverend Debbie has bought a house near us, and come this spring, she is coming on full-time here at Seaside, so we're excited about that. Wonderful miracles. I mean, just keep listening to all the good that is going on. You are part of this wonderful field. And it is from that vibrational place that things begin to unfold. Life mirrors it back. It's Thursday night. We have a wonderful evening here. You've probably already got your ticket for James Von Prague. But if you ever want to have that doubt removed from, is there more than what I can see, that evening you will experience with James and Gordon. Not that Gordon Smith looks like that anymore. You saw him this morning. He's he looks a lot like James, actually. Those two will be hysterical together. They're like brothers from another mother for sure. But they're both bringing forth information from the other side that every time I listen just deepens my conviction. I mean, I know, but it's just revelational to experience it live one more time. So wonderful evening. Pick up your tickets for that for sure. Today after service, if you want to know about the basics of our philosophy, Ginny and Dennis do the but the basic beliefs class. And that's available. I see Carrie Lake, she's doing her workshop on tuition next week. So there's a lot that's happening. But right now, we have these superstars on this Super Sunday here. Anybody want to talk to me? Yeah, good. I got one I can depend on.
Today we made, drumroll please, vision board.
Ta-da!
I think.
Nice. Anybody want to show their vision board?
It's do what you love boards.
Do what you love. That's kind of what we've been talking about in here. Do what you love. And
What you do is usually what we do because it's connected.
it is. That's
Send
good.
it-
So what are you doing in about 20 years? We need a new minister. Not soon, but someday. Hey, let's say together this wonderful affirmation for our children, and that is, we see you, we love you, and we support you in your magnificence. Woo! Oh, yes. Wait, I got one more big one. And so if you remember, at the end of last year, we were gathering together, raising funds to help send our teens to camp. Remember that? Well, you guys were extremely generous in that. And a couple of you want to come on up, Coop? And who else? All three of you, come on up and share with us the teen experience, because you were there over Martin Luther King's birthday.
Hi, I'm Dawn Hambrick. We had an amazing time. And Reverend Lori Mack, who many of you know, she was another advisor, and we took 5 teens. And Amelia is actually from Vision, and she comes to play with us too. But anyways, Reverend Lori has a testimonial that she wanted me to share with you. She was not able to be here today. To the generous congregation of Seaside, I want to thank you for supporting Teen Camp. As an advisor this year, I witnessed firsthand the transformational experience that was given to these beautiful young people. For the first time in some of their lives, they felt totally accepted and loved by their peers. Many of them had awakenings and aha moments that changed their lives forever. The teens create the workshops and create the whole camp experience with the support of advisors. I drove 3 teens to camp, and on our way home, it was a group agreement that this was the best life experience they have ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. As they said this, my heart opened and tears were flowing from my eyes. That is resonates with me as well. I've been to a few now myself, and the last night is by far flooded with tears and tons of laughter. It's a place where they go for creative expression and healing, and it definitely happens, and it's a wonderful experience. So thank you for making these changes. Amelia and Cooper would like to share a little bit, and then we have a video, a 1-minute video.
Hi everyone. So I'm really glad that I went to camp because I know that I made a bunch of long-lasting friendships that will last a really long time, and that it was just an amazing experience for me.
Uh-huh.
Hello everyone, my name is Cooper, and first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of you for supporting us and going to camp. It was a really amazing experience. It's a super loving and accepting environment. Everyone's super supportive of each other, and it's something we look forward to every 6 months. We wish it was more, but it's definitely a special experience, so thank you very much for your contributions.
Hey, Marv, you got the video. Let's roll it. No, Coop, I saw your video. It was fabulous. It was so good. You guys don't get to see it. Sorry about that, but it was really good. Hey, how's your golf game? Yeah, what's your handicap these days? 5. He's a 5 handicap. You guys want to see a future star? There we go. Anyway, then I'm going to pray, and we'll show your video next week. How's that? That means you got to come back, though. Okay, all right, that's good. Whatever it takes. Anyway, Healing is what it's about. I mean, we just heard stories today. Today is such a feel-good energy in here. I see Richard Drutman. You just came out of surgery, and you're back in the hood. Oh, welcome, just in time for James Von Prague. You know? That's good. We'll see you selling tickets. But anyway, I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners to stand. Look at all these faces. These are the individuals that pray for us every day. Every day. There's, look at over 45 individuals that pray. That's what goes on here. You don't see it, but it is alive. You can feel it. As Einstein said, there's few in number who feel with their own heart. Be one of those. Feel that power, that love, that aliveness, the joy of listening to our children, of seeing teens on a positive, affirmative trajectory, and that you have played a part in that expression of spirit. You are that conduit through which the divine moves. Feel its divine touchdown in this, and just accept that wonderful embrace of spirit that moves in this moment. Feel it, sense it. Don't question, just open up to the wonder that is. For it's divine, it's spirit, it's life. It doesn't matter what it is called. What matters is feeling, sensing, resonating, unifying, refreshing with this wonderful movement, this all-intelligence, that wisdom that guides the universe. It is the same that moves through you in this moment. Sense it. Feel it. For it is God made manifest in this moment. And it knows how to move through you perfectly. For the blessings and the grace of God is here. It's available. So say yes. With your soul, with your spirit, say yes. Know it. For in this yes, there is an opening. What may look like it is falling apart or crumbling or having a challenge or a mistake or a constriction or a fear or whatever the human experience is. It's a human experience. But say yes to the divine emanation, that movement of God in this moment that touches your body and your soul, and feel that realignment going on. Feel the healing taking place. There is something that is indescribable, that is real. It is God. It is life. It knows. So wherever there is that challenge in your world, be willing to lift it into the space and know that that is a result of a false identity, a false acknowledgement. Feel the motion, the movement, the healing, the swoosh. And with that is the opening for the affluent flow, the abundance, the joy, the life expression, the ease, the grace, the wonder. In this wonderful motion of spirit, just feel the reactivation going on at the cellular level and the body coming into greater alignment. That joy, that aliveness that is happening within this room, within this sanctuary today. It is in this sense that healing happens. Say yes to that which wants to move through you in this moment. It is a super moment. It is a moment in which the Spirit is presenting itself. It cannot force the direction. It cannot steer if you're not moving. And so in this moment, take that break off and allow yourself to be that vortex in which that divine touches down. And with that comes a richness, a sparkle, a delight, a sense of joy, of self-expression, a surrendering of false identities, of false precepts and concepts, and opening up to that wonderful emanation of that which is mine to do. Life supports this dharma, this purpose. And with that comes the energizing of life itself. And in this flow, anything unlike it falls away. Not because I'm saying fix this, fix that, but because in this flow, what remains is the wonderful life of the divine taking form as your world in the ways in which you can feel will enliven, that are in alignment with the values, that make you stretch and call on something higher and know that its results are a gift. I'm grateful to be part of that. I'm grateful that Seaside is that every prayer request has been brought forth to this community, whether it's been written, whether it has been asked, or whether it has just been moved in consciousness and lifted to the concept of Seaside for prayer. There's a yes. Spirit says yes. Do you? For I know good that is going on here. There is growth, there is expansion, there's a thriving, prospering spiritual community known as the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living, inspiring people to live their divinity, to live their birthright for that for which they've walked into this world. For as this community continues to grow, it shares a light, it shares a love. There is a gift that we contribute to the collective consciousness for peace and kindness. Thank you. Just thank you. It's happening. It's going on. Feel it, sense it. It's true. So I let go to it. I don't need to make it happen. I sit here with a sense of appreciation and gratitude for the good that has been cast into the law that responds. It mirrors. I allow that spirit to have its way. It's with great gratitude that I just let it go and allow myself to be the conduit, the avenue through which spirit moves into expression in this world. So I let go the wonderful seeds and allow the divine to be. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you got to let go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. So no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Said no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, sing it from your heart. Oh yeah. Beautiful. To no more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah. Yes, Seaside.
And our affirmation is, I love what I do. Together, I love what I do. Touch your heart and say it again. I love what I do. Again, I love what I do. Again, I love what I do. One more time. I love what I do. And our song of grace.